Hello and welcome everybody to All the Rage Sports Podcast. Today we have one man down. Andy's currently off cutting trees, I think is what it was. But I do have my normal panel here with Kevin and Jace. Say hi to the fellows out there.
What up?
I'm surprised Andy can operate a chainsaw.
Right.
He's probably
sure it's
in
not
triage is
smoking
why he's been
trees?
taking so long.
Yeah, he's tree cutting down. So on
Doing
today's
some
episode,
forestry.
yes. So today's episode, we're going to touch in on some of the trades that recently happened, and then some trades that could be happening here before the deadline next Tuesday. We're going to touch on the Vikings. Kirk Cousins kind of coming out of nowhere and playing out of his mind lately. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers had a record-breaking day. Obviously, touch on the Saints because Breeze is possibly expected to play this week, and then obviously talk about the division-leading Colts right now. So all that's coming at you here on All the Rage Sports. So first off and foremost, before I do anything, we're going to go over our picks from last week, and I would just like to thank you all for trying to be competitive.
I'm just going to real quick, just I shit the bed.
Yes. So I had all my 1 o'clock games 100% correct. And then I missed 2 of our 4 o'clocks. But then I got everything else. So we had the Chiefs beating the Broncos, the Rams winning, the Bills also won, Jaguars handed the Bengals, I think their 6th or 7th loss. Vikings did beat the Lions. I was the only one that picked that. Packers beat the Raiders. Colts took down the Texans for the division lead. Cardinals beat the weary Giants. 49ers stayed undefeated. And then Chargers beat themselves at the end of that game by just being complete and total tards. The Saints ended up beating the Bears. The Seahawks lost to the Ravens, which none of us picked that one. And then the Cowboys slaughtered the Eagles. And then, of course, the Patriots won. Who gives a fuck? So I went 12-2. Jace went 6-8. I'm really sorry about that, Jace.
Just setting up for a comeback.
Yeah. Kevin dropped a 9-5 record, and then Andy, of course, dropped a 10-4 record. Right now, that brings our standings to Kevin leading with 66 wins. I am in second with 65, so I'm nipping. Andy up third on 62 wins, and Jace was 60. Sorry, Jace. I have to keep apologizing.
I went from second to fourth in 1 week. You really don't have to keep apologizing. You're just being a fucking asshole.
I feel really bad.
Just keep rubbing
He
salt
feels so
in the
bad
wound.
that you sucked this much.
Both of you, shut up. Oh, my God.
Sorry, Jace. We can hardly see you from all the way up here.
Well, I just went from second to fourth in 1 week, and we're only on week 8 of 17. So I'm going to record all this, and we'll see how this shakes out at the end of the year.
Yeah,
I went from first to still being in first.
This will be posted as screenshots on the Facebook page when you're wrong.
Just make it a meme that says that time you thought you were winning the football pool.
Yeah, it's just going to be you guys with this video and then me running away with this thing, and it's just going to be the fucking Celine Dion. And you guys fucked up.
All right, so
That's
we obviously...
not Celine Dion?
Who is it?
Whitney Houston.
Is it? Well
done. Well done.
I showed my age there. Sorry.
So obviously we have a bunch of trades to talk about. We did have the week prior where Ramsey got traded to the Rams as the Rams traded away Marcus Peters. I believe we touched on that last week, but it definitely made a big impact. The Ravens handed oh my God, why did I blank? Who did they play?
Sea Chickens.
Seahawks, yes. So they destroyed the Seahawks pretty handily. And then Jaguars did still win, but and then the Rams ended up winning as well. So everybody kind of won, even the Jags in that case. But let's take a look at what happened after. Sanu got traded to the Patriots, and then just today they decided they were going to drop Josh Gordon on IR.
Future Raider.
Yeah.
Mortgage your house on it.
They literally said they may end up waiving him. See you later, Josh Gordon.
I saw that is the plan as soon as he's healthy and as soon as he returns from IR.
Yep.
Because of the Sanu trade, he's the odd man out.
You can't mute and douche flute.
Yeah, you're the host of this
Maybe
shit. Quit vaping.
Some in there.
I really don't give a fuck. It's Mohamed Sanu going to the Patriots. They added another motherfucker. They're going to win more fucking games. Who fucking cares?
I would just like to point out, I looked this up the other day because I saw a tweet. I think it was one of the guys from Pro Football Focus. If Mohamed Sanu's first play as a New England Patriot isn't like Tom Brady to Julian Edelman to Mohamed Sanu for a bomb to somebody, I'm going to be fucking pissed. Career shit, you fucked me up. Career completion percentages currently. Tom Brady sits at 67.5. Mohamed Sanu, if it weren't for one drop pass last year, would be at 100%, but he is currently 87.5. And Julian Edelman sits with a perfect 100% completion percentage in the NFL.
I would like to know John Heckler's completion percentage.
Hecker.
So then the Patriots can trade for Hecker, and then they can run a 4 QB set.
Well, that's I like I told you guys in the group chat. Belichick, they're going to win 15, 16 games. They're so bored. He's going to go, they don't know who we're going to throw the fucking ball with. They have no idea. We got a college quarterback on this side. We got a left-handed slinger on this side and the greatest of all time in the middle. What are you going to do? We can do whatever we want.
I could just see them like handing it off to Edelman, and then Edelman like pretending he was going to run the ball, then flickering it to Sanu, and then Tom Brady fail at catching a ball down the field.
I was going to say he'll be 30 yards past everybody, which is impossible for Tom Brady to be 30 yards past anybody
unless Sanu had 12 seconds in the pocket. So Sanu.
Yeah, Tony Saragusa could run down Tom Brady.
It's true.
Charles Woodson did too.
Sanu, it was a weird trade to me because I didn't really think that this receiving core was anything bad. Dorsett was a nice, speed guy, deep threat type of thing.
Well, Dorsett's hurt.
I didn't know Dorsett was hurt.
Dorsett's hurt. He was hurt the last game.
So, well, yeah, he went out of the last game, but
they were down Josh Gordon and so basically it was Edelman.
And
Myers, and then that one random white guy whose name I still don't know.
Gunnar Oleski or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So that's what they had. They don't have. They still haven't found a good replacement for Gronk yet at tight end. So they needed to add some wide receiver depth because of the injuries and still not having as good on a tight end. So you can't really do the 2 tight end set that you were using.
Right. They ran
before
a lot out of that 2 tight end set.
But I still think it was a stretch to go for a 2nd-round pick for Mohamed Sanu. I do not see that at all.
They overpaid heavily for him. I mean, even for instance, Emmanuel Sanders was another trade that happened. Emmanuel Sanders going to the 49ers. I loved that move, by the way. I really wanted him to come back to the Steelers, but kudos to the 49ers there for getting Emmanuel Sanders.
John Lynch.
I think it was a third?
It was a third and a fourth.
And a fifth.
And then third
that's
and
a
fourth.
A third and a fourth, and they got a fifth.
They got a fifth. So basically,
sent a pick
traded
with
a third and moved back around.
Yeah.
For Sanders, which I think is
brilliant. I mean, that's playing chess.
That's
especially
great
with that
value.
off
They
with
didn't
a
have
6-0 team.
Guy.
Exactly. That's Jimmy G's been pedestrian as a
well,
matter
and that's
of
what
fact.
everybody said. They're the one positive thing you see from the Niners here is they're not resting on our laurels. They're undefeated, and they have blown out some good teams, and they're still trying to improve. There's a lot of room for improvement. Now he's got somebody other than Kittle to throw the ball to.
I think that's going to open up Kittle in the middle so much.
Yeah, having an actual number one on the outside as opposed to Dante Pettis, Marquise Goodwin, or whoever the fuck they're trotting out there.
And I think Goodwin now turning into that number 2, being that deep threat, it just puts everybody back into their.
Actually, he'll probably be more in the slot. I think Pettis is the number 1 for them.
Yeah, that's probably
Pettis, probably right, and then you still have Deebo Samuel, and who's the other one?
I can't think of his name right now.
He plays right. I'm the stat guy.
I'm just saying, like him coming in and taking that number 1 receiver position moves everybody into their proper position. Like
Pettis is a number 2 at best.
Playing out of position.
Goodwin is a good slot guy. He's got good speed. Can definitely stretch the field.
Tiny, yeah. It just. I don't know. It made that offense a completely different dynamic, and
it was a good pickup.
It was definitely a good pickup. And then there is one more that happened. I think it was
Quandry Diggs.
Quandry Diggs.
Quandry Diggs going from the Lions to the Seahawks.
Yes.
Being traded out of a starting position to the Seahawks. So, and they had, I forget, Darius Slay posted to Twitter when the news broke, and his post was, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
WTF. And Snacks Harrison was not happy about it either. They have it came to a complete surprise to the team, and they're not all that thrilled with it. So that's what people were talking last year, that Patricia had already lost the locker room, and now they're starting to wonder if maybe that's happening again this year.
Right.
Which I don't see that. I mean, I don't think that if you're Detroit, you still shouldn't be hitting the panic button. They have been in and should have won a lot more games than they have. Just it's like the old adage they always say in the fight game: never let it go to the judges' scorecards. They let it go to where some bad fucking officiating has screwed them over in a couple games here, and you've got to. At this point, we all know the officiating is what it is. You've got to put yourself in a position where that's not going to ruin your game. You're going to have to perform a little bit above board just to make up for the potential.
Absolutely, yeah.
The kid we were thinking about from the 49ers was Jalen Hurd, and he's on IR, so we're all idiots.
Okay. So that being said, there's a lot of these like bottom basement teams that people are expecting to blow up. One of them being the Broncos have already traded off Sanders. A lot of rumors surrounding Chris Harris right now. Chargers, there's rumors surrounding Melvin Gordon.
May I actually interrupt you real quick?
Yes.
I saw a report I was reading right before we did this. Chris Harris is not expected to be moved before the deadline. I mean, you can quote me on that, but the Broncos are saying they're having trouble finding any potential trade partners for him at the moment.
Maybe it's his age?
It's his age, and I think it's one of those things where, they're kind of nobody's giving them what they want for him. So it's one of those deals where unless they can get, either a good player or a lot of draft collateral out of it for, a Pro Bowler, a All-Pro, whatever he's done. He's an excellent player.
Yes.
But yeah, they're not really taking any offers for him right now.
Well, let's think about it. On the defensive side, Patrick Peterson, he was rumored last year, never happened. This year, he was suspended for those first 6 games. He came back, played very well in that win. Do you think he got trade potential right now? This Cardinals team is trending upwards. So is this something that they want to? Or do you think this is all smoke?
No, I don't think they're in a blow-up stage. I think they're they need to keep the pieces that they have. They are starting to trend upward a little bit. They still have a long way to go. The only reason I could see this being a thing is if somebody were to get ridiculous and try to give them a Ramsey trade. 2 first-round picks or something like that. If somebody went nuts on him like that.
3 years ago, yes. This year, I don't think so.
Oh, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that's the only way they would consider moving him because he is an important piece on that defense. They might try to move some of the fringe talent they have to try and consolidate some picks, some guys that they think could be expendable because they're going to need some draft capital. They need to get that offensive line shored up a little bit better.
Big time.
And add some more pieces. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald's 96 years old.
No, I don't think he's 96. I think it's 93 and a half right now.
Okay. So he's not going to be around too much longer. They just need to continue building.
He played football at Forbes Field, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. They're in a build mode, not a tear down mode.
Yeah, and I think last year had more merit for his trade value than it does this year. I think people can say that because he's been on this position of possibly being on the trade block, but I just don't see a suitor that's going to pay for one game. They're going to pay for his past performance. They're not going to pay for what he's doing now, and they're not going to pay what they want. And I don't think they need to lose that. I think they, like you're saying, they need to add pieces right now because they're rolling right now, and they need to keep that train rolling.
Can I just dare say one thing real quick? And you're both going to hate me for it. I've loved Larry Fitzgerald because he went to Pitt. He's just been a consummate professional. He's been great his entire career. He's one of those guys that I'm just secretly hoping Bill Belichick kind of slides in and is like, hey, we'll give you a sixth for him. Because if you think him and that dink and dunk offense with Tom Brady won last year, give the man a Super Bowl ring. I know it's not going to happen because, like you said, they're on a little bit of a winning streak now, so they're going to use that, and they probably won't get rid of him. But you started talking about him possibly getting moved at the trade deadline. I would hope. I want him to win one. He's like Phillip Rivers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like if Phillip and him got in the same team, they might actually have a good thing going. And then AP joins them, and everybody that we want to win a Super Bowl wins one. So I agree.
Karl Malone starts playing football to get a championship ring.
I agree. Larry needs one. I don't think he'll get one before he retires, but I really wish he would.
He's going to go down with the ship, and that's very admirable.
Yeah, he's very loyal to the.
He's going to get a gold jacket. Who cares?
Yeah. So cornerback wise, we talked about Patrick Peterson. We talked about Chris Harris. Another one that might be floating around is Desmond Trufant. The lovely Falcons have horribly underperformed. So there's talk about him being moved. I didn't really see a lot of rumors on this, but I feel like Matt Ryan being hurt right now, and they're not sure how long. They're 1-6. It's probably time to blow this team up. I'm not going to lie. It really is. Things need to change there pretty drastically. Vic Beasley is another one that they were talking about for that team.
Well, that I hadn't heard much about Trufant, but the one I was reading about a bunch was they were looking to move Beasley.
Yeah, well, and then that team is just a team that, I mean, losing Kyle Shanahan was the biggest thing for them. Sarkisian has proven to be very inefficient ever since he
never
took over.
Hired
they've been
drunk
bad.
From USC.
Their defense has never been all that great. So that'd be my only thing. Desmond Trufant, I don't know that I want him.
See, I don't.
Is it a case of you look really good being the only good, decent player on a shit defense?
Well, that defense looks okay every year, but it feels like week 2 they're get
all injured.
3 or 4. Yeah, I think one of my favorite players off that defense, somebody I would really like to have on the Raiders. Isn't Deion Jones on IR? They're on their 5th middle linebacker or something like that.
Yeah. They I think they lost literally 3 starters by week 2 or 3. It was bad, and I think they've lost 5 or 6 by this point. So it's real bad over there, and maybe it is time to blow things up and then do a mini rebuild kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's time to blow things up. I think from top to bottom, it's time to blow things up. Coaching changes, the whole 9.
Yeah. A few more defensive players. I'm sticking with the cornerbacks that we've been talking about. Some people have said Artie Burns from the Steelers. I just don't think they're going to get any value from him. I don't think they can. If they
six pack.
Yeah, he's just garbage. So I don't think they're going to get value from him. So I don't even feel like he's good discussion.
Somebody I wish I would have saved text messages from all you fuckers about.
I didn't like that pick. I didn't like that pick at all.
Bullshit. And if I had the text messages, I could prove you wrong.
If you can find it.
I can't. I gotta go up into my attic and dig through like 3 phones from the last time he was drafted.
Because I don't delete a single text message, and I will scroll back. He was drafted what year? Like 16? 15, something like that. This year's
I was still in college.
So I will go back and look. I may have had blind faith, but I did not like that pick. There was like 3 other
cornerbacks. You had Stevie Wonder faith on that is what you had.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, moving on.
Jesse gets that way, and then one bad game, and he's like, I hate this person. They should go die.
Well, I hated on Emmanuel Sanders after a while because he had some pretty bad games for the Steelers, and then he went over there, played with Peyton Manning, and got good.
I will give you credit. Y'all at least gave Moncrief until like the 2nd or 3rd game until you started throwing him under the bus.
After the second game, I was ready to burn him.
After the first game, I was done
about
after
how
the
he
first
was a legitimate number 2. And
when his ball bounced off his hands and got intercepted, I went, kill him.
Yeah, that one hit the helmet. When that one went through his hands and hit his helmet, I think rolled off my bed from laughing so hard. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Can't say I blame you.
Yeah, being Moncrief volleyball set to a defender away from winning against the Sea Chickens.
Yeah. He threw a shoot to the fucking safety is what he did.
So, 2 other players that I've also seen a little bit, not a ton, but Leonard Williams and then also Richard Jones. Now, I don't see either of them really being moved. But they're both on really crappy teams right now that need picks. And obviously Miami's already been gathering picks, so I don't know if they're going to get anybody to give them something for Richard Jones. Rashad Jones. And then Leonard Williams. I don't know what to think of that one. I haven't heard rumors on it. I could see it if, a good offer came over, but I don't know.
I think it's one of those things they just, as soon as a team starts losing in this day of social media,
they just start picking
everybody.
Star player.
You even look at us. We're on this podcast. We're just starting out. There's guys just trying to get clickbait and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, here's some good players from a bad team we could trade." Yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to see if there's actually traction or not. Leonard Williams, I could see getting moved. The other guy from the Jets, I think, is kind of sneaky that could be leaving. Who's in a free agent year next year is Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to get to next. Some of the offensive side, both Robbie Anderson and Kendrick Drake. Did I say that right?
Kenyon
Drake. Both are kind of rumored. I could see Drake and I could see Anderson. Although Anderson used to be Darnold's favorite target.
I was really hoping the Steelers would try to make a move for Devontae Parker, because I think he would definitely help out the Steelers wide receiver position.
Yes.
But
he's one of those guys, like, I honestly, in my experience from watching football, I know the stats don't really reflect it, but I always thought Devontae Parker was going to be the better receiver out of him and Stills, and then the Texans then traded for Stills, and Parker is still a Dolphin.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, see, and that's
why has nobody gone after him?
It's very hard to evaluate Dolphins wide receivers when you look at who's been throwing them the football.
Yeah,
that is true. Well, Jay Cutler.
That's like trying to evaluate.
That's all I needed to know.
Like trying to evaluate Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receivers.
I think all of those players, though, are
Chris
people
Godwin.
that do need to see different scenery. I think that they have talent, but they just need to get out of their situation that they're in. Drake, I feel like they don't got anybody behind him. I don't feel like he would get traded. If they're giving up, Parker might. Jets-wise, Robbie Anderson, I think he's been on that rumor train last year, too.
I think when you have Sam Darnold and what he did against Dallas. He had a bad game against New England. Everybody young has a bad game against New England.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're giving up yet with the Jets. So I could see them trying. It all depends on what they think their possibility is of being able to re-sign him at an affordable price, what they deem an affordable price. If they don't think they're going to be able to re-sign him, I would go ahead and trade him then, because you might as well get something out of him instead of just letting him go at the end of the year.
Yeah, or depending on what the market you think is going to be, what you're going to be able to re-sign him for versus what you think he's worth.
Yeah.
Just be like, all right, we'll get some picks. See ya.
Yeah. So Raiders wise, what would you say they're after? They probably need what? Receiver pretty much at this point.
Cornerback.
No, I would say corner. I would say maybe a linebacker, but I
really
don't see that happening.
See anything on the rumor train of a linebacker either.
Well, they have said, Gruden made the move for Zay Jones, and there's been a couple here and there, and they have said they're going to be buyers at the deadline, but I just don't see. They have the draft capital, but they're not going to give it up unless the one person I will say we'll go dream scenario, but the one that I keep seeing, I looked into, it does make sense, is everybody keeps making calls to the Dolphins regarding Xavier Howard. So I think oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to get triggered. I'm thinking about it. Your last two corners you drafted were DJ Hayden, he was a Detroit Lion. I think he's now a Jacksonville Jaguar. And Garyon Conley, you just traded a first-round. He was a first-round draft pick. You just traded to the Texans for a third.
Yeah.
You're not very good at corners. You may as well just give up some capital for a proven. That's why I would like to see him go after Chris Harris, to be quite honest. But Elway's never going to trade inside the division.
No, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think, okay, so if you were, let's think of some of these running back needy teams. And you had a second round pick. You have Melvin Gordon out there. You have Kenyon Drake. You have somebody saying even like Chris Thompson. Who are you going after? And where do you think these, like, if all three of these running backs get traded, okay, where do you think they're going? Like Melvin Gordon, I guess, is the big one I'm thinking of. Who do you think would be able to put out the kind of capital to get that? And do you think that would push them over the edge? Because I'm seeing rumors about possibly the Lions going after Melvin Gordon because of Kerryon Johnson. And then there was another one I saw too about Melvin Gordon.
Here's my problem with that.
The Bills.
The Bills I could see. My problem with the Lions is Kerryon Johnson's a very good back, and they're not going to overpay for essentially what's going to be a rental until the end of the year for what might be a, possibly a playoff season. Yeah. I would see, just because of how bad the Dolphins are, I would see Kenyon Drake as a more possible candidate to go to the Lions, more so than.
I could see that.
I don't see him getting moved.
Melvin?
Or no. I don't either.
I don't think they're going to get what because again, as Jay said, 1 year rental, and now at this point, half-year rental. Unless, like, this isn't the NBA, you can't, they don't really do sign and trades. The one that would, I think the most running back needy team out there, and it's like they need a good running back, is Chicago. But their main problem is they ran the ball 10 fucking times in their last game.
Yeah. Well, you got to have a quarterback.
They have decent running backs, and they're not using them. So I don't know why they would even try. The Bears are just fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky is terrible.
So
no, I don't even put it on Mitch Trubisky's doorstep. I think Matt Nagy doing things right.
Well, the play calling in the same way Adam Gase wasn't helping Darnold Monday night. Nagy isn't helping Trubisky, but Trubisky is bad.
Yeah, Trubisky was something to see last year, but he also had a killer run game in front of him.
Well, we said the same thing 2 weeks ago about Mr. Cousins, Ned Flanders there, and then he turned into Mr. Burns and is fucking up everybody's predictions.
I would like to point one thing out, though. Everybody, all of us said as soon as Jordan Howard left the Bears and went to the Eagles, he wasn't going to do shit, and he's actually having, I think, a better season combined than Tariq Cohen and David Montgomery at the current moment.
I actually didn't say anything about Jordan Howard, but I wouldn't have predicted that he'd do what he did.
Well, I'm gonna stick with your point, Kevin. You talked about Kirk Cousins. I want to talk about this Vikings team. So it was like, I think after week 3, Thielen called out Kirk Cousins. Then I think week 4, Diggs called out Cousins, and then
didn't show up for practice.
Yeah, it was this big thing.
Started liking or adding people on Twitter from the Patriots, and
right. Cousins then apologized, which is just kind of unheard of, for his bad play to the receivers on an interview, I believe.
He has a radio show.
A radio show, okay. And then immediately he's lit up the last 3 weeks. So it's like, where did this version of Kirk Cousins come from? And let me just say, I like it.
They got the balance going. Dalvin Cook has started out good during the game, which brings the play action into it.
Yep.
Which allows Kirk Cousins to throw the deep ball, which is one thing that he excelled at in Washington, was being able to throw over top of defenses and get. I mean, that throw he had to Thielen was just picture perfect. It was an excellent throw, and they got to keep that. If they can keep that balance.
Well, Dalvin Cook right now is leading the league in rushing, isn't he? That guy.
I just saw the leading league rushers. I know Fournette's up there. Let me check.
Fournette's up there. McCaffrey's obviously up there.
Real quick.
But I believe that Cook is leading.
Yeah, he's up there. But one, who gave Kirk Cousins a radio show? And B, has he apologized to the Washington Redskins for taking like $10.5 million a year off him at a time, whatever the franchise tag was back then?
Yeah. Now, it's crazy to me because I remember us talking about the Vikings and how Kirk Cousins was garbage and all this other shit. And then all of a sudden, Kirk Cousins has just been throwing it all over the place. I don't know if he worked extra time with these receivers. There's rumors of Diggs getting traded. And now it looks like ain't nobody going to get him because now the Vikings look like a legitimate contender. Now, we started off the years talking about the Seahawks, Rams, that division, and it's starting to look like the Packers and the Vikings may be the top 2 teams. Obviously, the Bears are meh, and the Lions have been up and down, but when they showed that they were good, they were friggin' good. So they might be the most powerful division at the moment.
Still wouldn't discount the 49ers because everybody still is like the 49ers are the most underrated, undefeated team I've ever seen.
Yes.
And that defense has legitimately shut down everybody they've played. The team that actually did the best, the team that did the best against the 49ers so far this year was the Pittsburgh Steelers, who couldn't score off of 5 turnovers.
Yep.
Their offense hasn't performed as well as you'd hope, but I think they're still one of the top.
Well, the only reason I say that the Packers and Vikings division may have taken over the strongest division in the NFC is how the Rams have been faltering right now.
And the Seahawks.
The Seahawks dropped 1 game. They're 5-2.
I still don't believe in the Seahawks team.
And by the way, to my Uncle Lonnie's point, and I'll have a shout out there for Uncle Lonnie. He says, if Kevin hates the Seahawks so much, why is the Seahawks defense on his fantasy team? And
because he's a hypocritical piece of shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I have the Browns defense. I got the Seahawks because the Browns were on a bye.
Oh, okay.
So your Uncle Lonnie, go fuck himself.
Oh, and then, by the way, I didn't hit this right at the beginning, but I'll do another shout out. We have our first donation. Mr. Brian Baden has donated 68 cents to the cause in our PayPal. So please go to alltheragesports.weebly.com. Go to our page, check out all of our links, and donate to our PayPal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Foot.
Bigfoot to you.
It's like, I think we each get like 16 cents out of that.
But okay,
I think
back
just
to
keep
the
it.
back to
real
the Vikings.
Quick, not to interrupt you, real quick, but your top 5 league leaders in rushing right now are Dalvin Cook in first, Fournette in second, McCaffrey in third, which you count his receiving yards.
Yeah, he has so many receiving yards.
They did Nick Chubb is fourth, and then Zeke is fifth.
Yep. So Nick, that kind of brings me to a little side note. What do you think about Kareem Hunt getting traded, being that Nick Chubb is performing so well? They could probably get him really cheap because he's been suspended all year.
If I were the Kansas City Chiefs, I'd try to bring him back.
Yeah,
they definitely need some help there.
That's about it.
I might try to go for a running back there at some point because they definitely. Kenyon Drake would be a great fit actually in that offense. That
probably would.
But back to the Vikings and the Packers, I think it's gonna come down to the wire. I think in this division, the Lions I still don't think are completely out of it the way they've played this year.
Yeah,
they've played really well. I mean, they didn't necessarily even play that bad against the Vikings.
No.
Marvin Jones 3 touchdowns. 4. My bad.
4. Yeah. Don't sell yourself short.
Before we continue, I dropped Marvin Jones because I had to pick up a running back because I had only one running back. So I think, which one of my receivers will not be picked up because Marvin Jones has had one good game this year. And then Kevin picks him up and plays me, and then he scores 4 fucking touchdowns.
I had Marvin Jones last year. He was a boss, so of course I'm going to pick up Marvin Jones.
He scored like 9 points on average all year and then fucking blows it up for 40-something.
Well, it's because you traded him.
I dropped him because God hates me.
Well, dropped him. Well, as soon as he left your team, he was liberated and he can score again.
Yes. The one thing I will say about this division is the Packers, while they are right now the top team in the division, this was the first game the offense looked really good in. But it's an offense that was going up against a secondary that was so bad that one of the starting corners was then traded this week.
And I will say that
they valued him so much.
Well, he gave up a bomb to Valdez-Scantling. I mean, first play of the second half.
Oh, Conley and Worley just killed you the entire fucking game.
It wasn't Worley. Like, it was...
Worley was bad too, though.
Well, here's the thing. Worley has been very, very fucking good all year. And then all it took was Conley couldn't cover anybody. And then, I mean, you're playing against Aaron Rodgers. As soon as you lose one guy... It all fucking unraveled.
Well, and there was even one drive that I think ended up going to a punt because I can't think of, is it Lazard? Is that the wide receiver? Dropped a wide open fucking pass that was going for a touchdown, and I think they ended up having to punt that one away, or that would have been more points on the board for the Packers wide receivers, and it was just that was the best game they've played. I don't know that So we haven't really seen a consistently dominant Packers offense yet.
No.
Well,
I think it's still going to be. It could still be a really close race between the Vikings, Packers, and the Lions because of that.
I will say before we move on, as a very, very sad Raider fan who bet on this game, the Raiders didn't look bad. I will say that it doesn't. I'm not completely devoid of hope. It did feel like, I will say, to continue on your little rant that you've been on all year, Kevin, the refs were fucking horrible in this game. And
I'm one of those a topic of this show because we could literally talk about that.
It was one of those things where, and I'm a firm believer, if you're in a position where the refs can lose you the game, then you lost yourself the game. But there were so many times it felt like, Waller got 2 touchdowns called back. It felt like every time we crossed the 50, we were getting a flag, something was calling back. And when your defense is on the field all game, it's hard to play against Aaron Rodgers.
So the announcers even pointed out going into the half, if Carr doesn't fumble that thing out of bounds in the end zone, you're talking about a huge swing in points and it being a much tighter game. That was they were about then to score. I forget what it was at that point, but that would have been 7 points closer. I think they were down 24-10 at that point.
So
it would have brought it
after that because
would have brought it to 24-17
that's the second time
going into the half.
If you remember the Dallas game, that's the second time Carr has done that in his career with plays left on the goal line. It was 2nd and 2. You could easily just run out of bounds. Just take no gain or gain a yard.
He had the first.
Exactly. You don't have to go for the touchdown. Yeah. And that's the second time he's done that, and it's the second time it's cost us a game. And he has the most lost fumbles in the NFL since 2016.
And that's the one thing, too, I've seen Michael Vick do multiple times that so many guys just don't understand. The ball placement in that situation doesn't matter. If your hand without the ball goes over the pylon, that's a touchdown. Michael Vick would do that every time when he was running.
Totally incorrve.
No, it's not. You look up Michael Vick.
The ball has to cross the plane.
But do you remember how many years ago that is? Because I've never seen that be a thing. The ball has to get into either touch or be over top of the pylon to be a touchdown. It has to cross that white line.
Well, I watched Michael Vick do it several times and it'd be called a touchdown. Put the ball in his left hand.
That was 2004,
and reach
back when you could probably when ball position didn't matter.
Yeah, it was when he was with the Eagles, even actually. I do believe
before the damn whole fumbling out of bounds in the end zone bullshit started. I don't remember that rule ever in the time I played until. It was the Jets or something?
No, it was the Seahawks.
The Seahawks, yeah.
It was KJ Wright batted one out, and the refs didn't call it, and they ended up.
No, they that was the one where he batted it out, and they called him because he batted it out because you can't forcibly bat out a fumble like that. But I'm thinking it was the Jets, and I want to say it was Jason Morrow caught a touchdown. Or was running in for a touchdown, and when he caught it, it fumbled out of his hand and went out of bounds, and they called it a touchback for the Patriots or something. I think that's how it went.
No, it's for the Patriots.
But anyway, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and then this shit also has started ever since. And I think it's the dumbest fucking rule in the book. If you fumble it and it goes out of bounds, you can't advance the ball, so put it back on the fucking one. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But anyway, besides the point, the Packers looked crazy good. They're playing out of their minds right now. Aaron Rodgers threw his very first perfect passer rating game ever, which is just insane to believe that, but it's true. So, yeah, that division's pretty tough. The Packers are looking like now they're finally hitting on all cylinders. If they can repeat that next week, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and on the bright side for Oakland, they were very moving the ball very well against what's been one of the better defenses this year too.
True.
So I want to move. It's too late.
Trent Brown not being in there, it was tough.
Yeah. So I want to move on over to the Saints. Now, we all discussed this when Breeze went down, and we all said Saints could possibly bring 3-3 out of the 6 weeks when Breeze is gone. If they do that, they're still going to be in playoff contention. They may still win the division. What did the Saints do? They went out and went 5-0 so far with Teddy under the helm, and it's believed that Breeze may play this week. So my question for you guys is, should the Saints be incredibly conservative with Breeze with how good Teddy Bridgewater is playing? Just give him maybe an extra week. Get it to that bye week and let him have that and get those extra days of healing. What do you guys think? Because the Saints have outperformed everybody's thoughts.
I've got a really good answer for this. Yes.
Absolutely. Are they going to?
I would. It's Sean Payton. Sean Payton's the smartest guy in the room.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that they're already talking about the plan is for Breeze to play this week.
Yeah.
Why would you play him?
I'd say that too.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that all week. Just like, for instance, just like the Cardinals all week said that David Johnson was healthy, and then they played him for 3 snaps, and then it was the Chase Edmonds show.
And
so it's going to be one of those. Yeah, he did.
Fuck you, Chase Edmonds, because that was one game Jesse got over me.
I wish that I would have grabbed him up thinking ahead, but I don't even know who has him right now.
And see, there was
and did you even know Chase Edmonds existed before this Sunday? Exactly.
Somebody told me about him, and I was like, they have David Johnson. You're crazy. And I was like, this guy's got like 45 points. But yeah, I think with the Cardinals coming to town next week, I think you can safely ride Teddy Two Gloves and just leave. Breeze is a competitor. He's going to want to play, but you got to buy next week.
Let him put on the pads. Let him put on his uniform. Let him sit there and hold a clipboard.
Let him back up Teddy for a game.
I'd let him back up Taysom Hill, but
yeah, make him third.
Yeah.
But yeah,
to the backup tight end, kick returner, running back.
If we have no other option, we can't even put a wide receiver into the game to play quarterback, or Will Lutz, whoever. Then okay. If we can't convince the refs to let Sean,
I think Morstead is their emergency quarterback. I believe.
If we can't convince the refs to let Sean Payton go ahead and throw on the uni, go out and get it done at quarterback for the rest of the game, then we put in Brees.
I am all here for a Thomas Morstead game. I'm just saying that. He has the hair.
Can you imagine for the brand on fucking Monday if Morstead were to go out there and play?
Pat McAfee couldn't record because literally he would still be shooting his fucking jizz so hard against his camera.
He would still be punter.
It'd be like who was that guy way back in the day? Tom Tuber, whatever the fuck his name was.
Tom Tuber, yep.
Yeah, punter for the Jets
that
did
the
that
Browns,
shit.
The Jets. Played for the. I think he was even a Patriot at one point in time.
Yeah, at some point he was Rick Meyer. I think he was replacing. Yeah, punter comes in and goes like adds 2 incomplete passes or something over 2 quarters or something.
I haven't seen that happen. That I've watched the game.
Tom Tupa with a P. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Your Uncle Lonnie will tell you about Tom Tupa.
I'm sure he will.
Well, the Saints. I think the verdict is you need to ride Bridgewater in this game, and maybe it's a smoke screen. Maybe it's like, hey, now you have to prepare for 2 quarterbacks, and then they play Teddy.
The biggest thing too is this to me is the best team in football. Fuck the Patriots. I think the Saints are the best team in football right now, and you with Drew Brees,
right?
They're one of the best teams with Teddy Bridgewater. They are the best with Drew Brees. So I say you definitely just give them one more week, let them be, which will turn into 2, and let them have the opportunity to be fully healed, ready to go. And, even if you go in and lose to Arizona, this game does not hurt you whatsoever.
No. So we've talked a bunch about the NFC teams, all a bunch of contenders. No one, like the Saints are probably the number 1 contender that we can all talk about. Packers maybe number 2. But in the AFC side, who else besides the Patriots right now? And I, personally, because I called this a while ago, think the Colts may be one of those teams. We're going to talk a little bit about Jacoby Brissett's amazing game, 4 touchdowns, 300-plus yards, taking the Texans down, who just took the Chiefs down, taking the Texans down and now leading their division. I don't know that there is another AFC team right now that could be considered a contender to go up against the Patriots. This Colts team may be our closest bet. One, how do you feel about this Colts team? Is Jacoby Brissett no longer a backup quarterback? He's a starting quarterback. And do you think that they may be the best option at this point? Take an ex-Patriot quarterback to take down the Patriots.
I think the Colts, they are at least number 2 in the AFC, and it may be a tie for number 2. Healthy Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs, I'd put up there with them as well.
But here's the thing that I want to mention about the Chiefs before you continue. The Chiefs have now showed how pedestrian they can be with a backup. You can't bank it all on that one player. The Saints have showed that their overall team is great because they can win games with Teddy Bridgewater. The Chiefs have shown that without Mahomes, they are nothing.
Well, there's the difference.
Who's Jacoby Brissett's backup?
No clue.
That's such a moot point. Any team that loses their starting quarterback, it's
Teddy. You
unless
can't
you're the Philadelphia Eagles.
Teddy Bridgewater is doing to what any other backup would be doing, because Teddy Bridgewater is a guy who's been offered starting jobs and turned them down to be the backup to Drew Brees with the hopes of getting that job when Drew retires. So that's not a good comparison.
Well then let me make this point then. The Chiefs defense has shown that they can't stop anybody. And if Patrick Mahomes is not there to put up 40 points, well, they're doing a horrible job at stopping everyone.
He is right. That defense is suspect.
And then their offensive line has now showed that they can't do a running game.
That defense actually showed up in their last game and shut the fuck down.
Yes,
the Denver Broncos.
Yes, they did. What was that last word you said there?
Denver Broncos.
Exactly.
But
thank you.
The Denver Broncos have been bad this year, but what the Chiefs did to them was more than they've had for most of the year. They completely made him irrelevant. He couldn't even think about passing the football.
You are 100% right.
But with the Chiefs too, we haven't seen a healthy Patrick Mahomes with Tyreek yet. Tyreek was just coming back, and Mahomes is already hobbled with the ankle and then has the knee problem. Before he went out of the game, though, they're up 20-10, kicking Denver's ass. They added 10 more points with the backup. I think this Chiefs team can somewhat maintain a little bit while Mahomes heals up. And I think what happens is, because the knee's hurt, but it's not a bad problem with the knee, what it's going to really do is it's going to give the ankle time to heal and get the ankle back to 100%. You get 100% Patrick Mahomes back. Then I think it's a 2-horse race for that number 2 spot. And then somebody's going to have to go to Foxborough and win.
That's fine and dandy.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, that is what it boils down to, because you look at the top teams in the AFC right now. The Bills 5-1. They've already lost to the Patriots. Definitely put up a great fight, but already lost. The Ravens 5-2. I don't think if they go into Foxborough, there's no way they're coming out with a victory. The Colts 4-2 and the Texans 4-3. Out of those teams, I think the Colts might give them the best fight, but who knows in that one. And then the Chiefs 5-2. Now, what I'm saying about the Chiefs is now it seems like this team is overrated because of Mahomes. Mahomes makes things happen that nobody else can make happen.
Well, you can't. No, because you're going to say something stupid because Tom Brady goes down. And are you saying now that the Patriots are overrated because of Tom Brady? Because if Tom Brady goes down, the Patriots
because
are
fucked. You know what that will happen? The Patriots, we've all seen the meme go around. If the Patriots offense never got in the field, they would be 3-1. Never stepped foot. Their defense is crazy good right now. The Chiefs had a very good game, but isn't crazy good. The running game on the Patriots is good. When they want to run the ball, they have no problem running the ball. The run game on the Chiefs is horrible. They can't run the ball. Without Mahomes, that offense doesn't get going as crazy. Now, obviously, they had a good week. They won the game without Mahomes. That's fine and dandy. But what I'm getting at is they are not a contender without him. And the other parts of the team that are all supposed to come together, they're suspect. So even with Mahomes in there, they show weaknesses. And Mahomes covers that, puts that Band-Aid on it. But I don't think you can run a team like that. It's like old Peyton Manning teams where Peyton Manning's offense was insane because Peyton Manning was so friggin' good. But he never had a run game. He never had defense. When he finally got those things, he won a Super Bowl.
Okay, so I'll recap what Jesse said in a moment because it was just as asinine as Peyton Manning never having a running game. Excuse me, Edgerrin James.
Edgerrin James, Joseph Adai.
But Jesse said that the Chiefs are overrated now, Jace, because of Patrick Mahomes being their quarterback. And I said, you can't make that statement. If Tom Brady is hurt, are you now saying the Patriots were overrated because of Tom Brady? His point was, well, the meme, if they hadn't, just the offense had never taken the field to be 3-3-1. Okay, let's recap who they played during those games.
They played garbage
teams. The Chiefs have actually played. The Chiefs have played the way tougher schedule through this stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Jesse's just an idiot because here's what it boils down to. Like you just said.
Yes.
He's going to get healthy. He's going to be back at some point. And Jesse goes, as long as Mahomes is on the field, they have a chance. Well, guess what? You just said it. As long as Mahomes is on the field, as long as the defending, reigning NFL MVP is on the field, as somebody who is going to have to watch him in his division for the next decade of his fucking life, they have a chance.
I'm saying they can't beat the Patriots because they don't have a complete team, is what I'm trying to get to. I'm putting a lot of words behind it.
But we're sitting here saying the Patriots have a complete team based on the fact that they've played a bunch of shitty teams.
Real quick.
Almost lost to the fucking Bills.
Here's the thing. I agree with you, Jesse, but here's my issue with it. I think the Colts are another Patriots or another 49ers because they all have the exact same fucking quarterbacks from the exact same goddamn quarterback room. It's barely just above average quarterback play, a really good defense, and a really exceptional running game. And here's the problem with that is say your theory is correct and the Colts walk into Foxborough, who drafted them?
Yeah.
You are banking on Jacoby Brissett to be the one piece to that. You need him to go out there and beat Tom Brady, basically heads up, against the guy who drafted him out of college, and you're basically expecting Marlon Mack and the defense to win in Foxborough. And if you don't have, like you said, your words, a complete team, you don't have a fucking chance.
I'm saying, one, I don't think anybody's going to beat the Patriots in Foxborough this year. It's the Patriots Super Bowl, and we're all just sitting here going to debate about it all year, and then we're going to
Eli, where are you?
Yeah, we need you, Eli. Hey, there's another trade.
There you go. Candidate. Trade deadline. Eli goes to the fucking Rams.
Fucking just somebody.
No,
Eli to the Bills.
Eli to the Bills. Oh God. Oh man. No, I'm saying
another New York team beating Brady.
There's a complete team in the AFC. Now, I think the Colts are more complete than the Chiefs. Are the Chiefs flashier? Are they going to win more games? If the Chiefs and Colts play with a healthy Mahomes, yeah, the Chiefs are probably going to win. But I'm saying that Mahomes is a Band-Aid on an incomplete team. Much like Peyton Manning was when he had no defense. And yes, he went years without a 1,000-yard rusher, even with Edgerrin James in there. He was a Band-Aid on an incomplete team. He made them good, but when they got to the showtime and they needed that full complete team, it didn't happen. That's why Peyton only has one Super Bowl, or he has two. Or just one.
Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis.
Yes.
Kareem Jackson, Bob Sanders.
When he won the Super Bowl.
Bob Sanders, Cathedral Prep product.
Whoop, whoop. But that's what I'm saying is there were many times he made it in there and did not have that complete team. And guess who took him down? The Patriots.
Well, and that's the thing is the Colts have a really complete team, but they don't have a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
No.
Brissett's good. Brissett has exceeded my expectations, but he is still not the answer.
Yeah.
But at this point, he's not playing Tom Brady.
Yes.
Well, and that's what it boils down to. None of this matters until he has to play Tom Brady or whoever our great white hope in the AFC is to beat the Patriots plays Tom Brady.
Why is it got to be white? Racist.
Oh, here we go.
If you want to be ignorant racist, fuck, that's on you.
I have more street cred than you, Kevin.
We're all sitting here and we can debate all day. but the bottom line is Patriots will be in the Super Bowl, and we have to hope for one of our NFC teams to beat them.
It's going to be the Seahawks.
No.
That would be great to have a three repeat, and then the Seahawks take the tiebreaker.
They couldn't stop Lamar Jackson, which any team that's had a half-decent defense has been able to do so far this year.
And I just want the Seahawks to make a deep playoff run and make a chance just so I can torment you the entire way.
They probably will.
Sucks. And they're all terrible.
They probably will make a good run, and the reason they will is because they don't play fucking anybody except for the 49ers.
I can't wait to see that game.
And when Jesse Smith put that text in our fantasy league about he put Diggs to the Seahawks, and immediately everybody's brain went Stephon Diggs. I was about to text Kevin and be like, fuck you, it's over. They're going to win the NFC, kiss my ass, kiss Russell Wilson's ass. And then he was like, oh, I left that out on purpose. It was Quandre Diggs. Like, you fucker.
Yeah, when you said Diggs, I was about to text everybody and be like, oh my God.
I was going to call. I was at work. I was going to call Kevin. Like, stop what I was doing and be like, and hang up.
Well, also, what's one of the other Seahawks' losses this year?
They lost to the Ravens, and then was it the Niners?
No, they haven't played the Niners yet. It was the Teddy Bridgewater-led Saints.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So, what do you think's going to happen when they go up against Drew Brees in the playoffs? They couldn't beat the Teddy Bridgewater-led Saints.
They'll lose by 30.
Exactly.
All right, guys, let's get on to our picks here. I'm obviously going to have to get Andy's proxy picks in here. But I'm 1 point behind you, Kevin, so I'm hoping that you falter today. I picked very well last week, and I was very happy about that. So let's see if I can continue that trend. So Thursday's game is the Vikings against the Redskins. Kirk Cousins is 5-13 in career primetime games. Also, most of those were with the Redskins. So I think Kirky gets some revenge.
Please don't call him Kirky.
Kirky. Captain Kirk will get some revenge here, and I think the Vikings win that one. What do you got for me, Jace?
I vehemently disagree with you, although I have now bet against Kirk Cousins in 3 straight weeks and lost. So, yeah, I'll take the Vikings.
I was about to, stare at you.
But this is one of those games, the Kirk Cousins, you look at him, and it's like a revenge game, and he should win. And this is one of those ones that we could all be
like. But then he goes Oakley.
Exactly. This feels like a trap game.
But then you realize you're talking about the Redskins.
Yes.
Being able to beat somebody other than the Miami Dolphins. I can't remember whether it was Bruce Allen or Daniel Snyder, but they repeatedly called him Kurt Cousins when they were talking about why they didn't sign him to his long-term contract that he wanted. After this week, they're going to remember his fucking name.
So, Vikings it is for you, Kevin.
Yep.
All right. We got the Seahawks going into the horrible Falcons. I don't think there's much we have to see. I don't know if we have to even ask really on this one. Seahawks for me.
I love Kevin crying about the Seahawks schedule because now it just makes his Russell Wilson argument look less and less credible. See chickens roll.
It was less a Russell Wilson and more a Seahawks in total.
No, it was. I mean, you trash the whole team, and they're going to win a whole bunch of games. So I mean,
but they're not going to win the important ones. But they're going to win this one.
Yeah, they're going to win that one. All right, the Bills facing off against the Eagles. Bills at home on this one. Eagles are pitiful right now. Nelson Aguilar is so bad. I got to go with the Bills. I think the Bills are going to roll in this one. Circle the wagon.
Circle the wagons.
Did Doug Peterson put a guarantee out for this week yet?
Not that I know of, but he could.
Yeah. Well, even if he doesn't, I'm still going to go with the Bills because they're shitty.
Yep.
Because of the Buffalo Bills running back room.
All right. Yep. Chargers against the Bears. Now, this one is a tough one. every time I vote for the Chargers, I feel like they know I'm voting for them and then do something dumb. This one is a very tough one for me to pick. I don't like Trubisky. I don't like that run game. I don't like their defense. I don't like anything, but I don't like the Chargers defense. I mean, I got to go with the Bears on this one. I feel like the defense will probably score, and that will change the game. Bears for me.
I don't like that I bet on the Chargers last week, and then Melvin Gordon got stuffed on the goal line.
Yep.
This is an easy pick. Rivers isn't going to play well in the cold. Bears win.
Kevin?
Yeah, I have more faith in the Bears' defense's ability to score than I do the Chargers' offense. So, Bears win.
All right. Giants at the Lions. Both are on a 3-game losing streak. Lions definitely played the much stiffer competition in those games. I feel like this is, even with Carry-On being out, I feel like Ty Johnson's going to have a good game. I feel like Stafford's going to throw the ball around on that defense. I'm leaning on the Lions on this one. What do you got, Jace?
I think the Lions continue to lean on Marvin Jones, and they win.
Kevin?
Yeah, I'm looking for another 40 points out of Marvin Jones this week in fantasy. So
I was really just softballing you that one, just so you know.
Yeah, you're
just like Jesse softballed me that one.
Yeah,
that is true.
All right. Well, I don't know what just happened. My computer's freaking the hell out. Next one for our 1 o'clocks. Oh my God! Stop it. Sorry, my computer's freezing up. Let me get back to what I was doing. Okay, so the Indianapolis Colts, or Denver visiting the Colts. I think the Colts are super hot right now. I don't believe that anybody can really. I feel like they're just rolling like crazy. Got to go with the Colts on this one. What do you got, Jace?
You know, I picked the Texans to win the division. I really don't want to be on the train, but the Broncos are that bad. Colts win.
Okay.
It's really going to be hard for anybody to get a game up on anybody when we're all picking the same thing, like this Colts game that I'm also picking the Colts in.
That is correct. Raiders against the Texans. That would be a 4 o'clock game. Why are we moving into 4 o'clock games? Shut up, Jesse. Jets at the Jaguars. That's what I want to do first. Jets are seeing ghosts. The Jaguars are very spooky. So I'm going with the Jets on this one.
Jets are going to win this one. And Kevin, I'm going to shatter everything you've loved right now. Gardner Minshew is basically just Uncle Rico with an NFL contract. That motherfucker, he has done nothing to impress me in the last 3 weeks. He is ass cheeks. He is Charlie Whitehurst with a different haircut.
He is a mustache.
And he stretches with his jockstrap in the locker room. Who fucking cares?
You will respect him.
I don't give a fuck about Gardner Minshew. Jets win this game.
All right. Kevin?
Sam Darnold's going to be seeing his own ghost after Ngakoue fucking impales him. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm totally lying, just so you know. I just wanted to get on Kevin's shit because he's all pissed off about Minshew. Fournette will have a big game and the Jags will win. But I didn't want to admit that.
All right. Bengals at the Rams. Will this be another? Rams won last week. They kind of rebounded. Are they going to let anything slip through their mitts to the Bengals? I think not. Rams win.
Rams win. Nothing to say.
Kevin?
Rams.
All right. Another 1 o'clock. Cardinals at the Saints. I don't even know what to say to that. Sorry that you had this great run there, Cardinals, but the Saints are probably the most complete team in the league. So Saints it is.
I will say Saints, but as somebody who really did not, and I was really, really down on the Cardinals, I think this is going to be a shootout in the Dome. I think this is going to be a very good Kyler Murray game, but I think he falls short.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, because he's short. Like 5'4" or whatever.
Yeah.
Kevin?
Saints.
All right. Another 1 o'clock, Bucks at the Titans. This one is difficult because I absolutely think the Titans are a garbage team. But I also absolutely think the Buccaneers are a garbage team. I feel as if the Buccaneers are going to pull this one out. I feel like it's going to be a shootout. And let's hope, the Bucks might get some sacks on Tannehill. But yeah, no, I think the Bucks come out in this one. What do you got, Jace?
It's like swallowing arsenic to realize the fact that I lost a bet. I bet on Phillip Rivers against Ryan Tannehill and lost. And now I have to. You're making me choose between Jameis Winston and Ryan Tannehill. This is like
it's like kicking the balls and
penis. Yeah. This is a kick in the balls, and this is a kick in the balls, but like next tomorrow. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to agree with Jesse. I'll go with Jameis and the Bucks.
What do you got, Kevin?
Well, the Buccaneers and he threw what 5 interceptions to the Panthers defense. That's kind of fallen off. It isn't the defense that it used to be, and they're going up against a Titans defense that has been pretty good so far this year. So I think Jameis makes more mistakes than Tannehill, and the Titans end up pulling out low-scoring shit game.
All right.
It's in Tennessee. It's going to be a low-scoring shit game.
Yes. So back to our 4 o'clocks here. We got Raiders at the Texans. I'm sticking with the Texans on this one. I'm sorry, Jace. This one could be one of those upset games where the Raiders come out. The Texans are kind of faltering. They have 6 one-possession games this season. Either they won or lost by possession. They are in a lot of tight games. The fact you got rid of a piece on your secondary is really what triggers me to say and that's why I think the Texans can really win it.
Watching him play last Sunday.
Yeah. So watching him last week made me go, hey. Yeah, I have not been that violently angry at a defense in that very long of a time. He was just letting people walk past him. Conley needed to go. It was time. We have a couple unproven guys. I think, and this is, get out your bias buttons. Go ahead and hammer them. I shouldn't do it because every time I've said the Raiders are going to win this year, I think they've lost. But Trent Brown gets back this week. Tyrell Williams is healthy, supposedly. We get everybody back. Raiders win.
Kevin.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
Wow. I have so much more confidence in this game now. Thank you, Kevin.
All right.
I needed that from
at you. Levi Stadium, Panthers going in to play the 49ers. This is going to be some stiff competition for the 49ers. I really hate saying this, but I think this is the week that the Niners lose. I think that the Panthers get McCaffrey going early, and I think they're going to ride that momentum from their secondary, getting all those picks. I think the Panthers win.
This is a defense that is talented enough that they are going to take Christian McCaffrey away from that offense, and they are going to say, okay, Kyle Allen, we're going to make you throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns to beat us. And have we seen that out of Kyle Allen yet? I don't think so.
Yes, the first game.
Well, the very first game.
The very first game.
Well, I'm not going to get into the stats now, but my point remains, fuck you, Kevin, but I don't think Kyle Allen has enough. I've been shitting on this 49ers team, and they keep winning. That defense is really, really good. 49ers win.
Kevin.
Not going to go undefeated all year. I thought that the Rams might do it, and they couldn't do it. But I'm gonna have to go with the Panthers on this.
So fucking excited to lose that game.
All right, next 4 o'clock game. I don't even know if I have to ask you. Browns at the Patriots. So, Pats.
Josh Gordon comes out of the locker room like Andre 3000 and what was it? Semi-pro. Plays for the Browns again. Goes for 200 yards and they win. Just kidding. That can't happen. So Patriots win.
And Kevin.
Patriots.
All right. The night game, Sunday night game, is the Packers at the Chiefs. This is going to be a fantastic game if Mahomes was playing. Packers win it.
Yeah, I was really, really skeptical of your words there because Matt Moore, I've read 2 reports. This time last year, he was either scouting or like coaching high school football. Like he took like 0 reps coming into this season. Packers win.
Kevin?
Yeah, he took 0 reps, but he still managed to fuck up the goddamn point spread that I had picked for my FanDuel bet. Screw me out of $190.
As soon as you bet on the point spread, you should have known that Matt Moore. If I got fucked by Ryan Tannehill, you deserve to get fucked by Matt Moore.
He played serviceably against the Broncos, but serviceably will not work against this Packers team.
That is correct. And then another dismal Monday night game, the Dolphins at the Steelers. Pitt has won the second most Monday night games in the NFL since 1970. Fun fact. That's the Dolphins. I think the Steelers use this as a building block to get back to 500. Steelers win.
What a fucking flush of the toilet. Where do you go here?
At least it's not the Redskins and the Dolphins.
I mean, Redskins, Dolphins, Steelers, Bengals. You're just.
I'm calling it now. Bet on the Steelers defense scoring a touchdown.
Well, Kevin, you bet on my prop bet last week, so don't take that. And just because I know you're all going to pick the Steelers in this game, I'm just going to take something different. I'm going with Fitzmagic.
Wow. Desperate pick from a desperate player.
Goddamn right.
Fitzmagic as well, but the Fitzmagic that's going to be replacing that Fitzmagic. I think Minka Fitzpatrick has the possibility of outscoring the Miami Dolphins offense himself this week.
I do agree with that. I think he's going to be like, hey, here's the defense, and I'll bet they've been too stupid to change anything since I've left. So here you go. And
yeah,
Steelers probably win by 50.
I
need a couple wins.
They've just been in the locker room getting Tua's locker all set up for him and haven't been focused on changing the defense. So Steelers win.
That, and if the Steelers lose to the Dolphins, I will walk into work Tuesday morning like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I will have a vengeance.
If the Steelers lose to the Dolphins, I'm probably not going to be on the podcast next week.
Yeah, I'll probably be hanging in my basement.
Introducing this is all the sports podcast with Jace Chunk and no one else.
Just put a live camera on me and Kevin.
Hanging off the 8th Street Bridge.
Yeah, you're still decomposing, probably. What do you guys think? Raiders win too.
All right, guys. That seems to be it for us today. We did get. I still think the Colts are the most complete team besides the Patriots in the AFC, and we can argue that all day and every day. But we need to end it today. Thank you all for joining us. Next week, we will hopefully have Andy with us. Hopefully he's not cutting trees. But we'll have more coming at you, and then we'll actually be able to talk about the end of the deadline trades that happen, because I believe the trade deadline ends on 4 o'clock on Tuesday is what we said?
Yes, 4 p.m. Tuesday.
So we will be seeing you next week on Wednesday. Stay tuned for more. I'm always wrong podcast. So thank you everybody for joining us. Go to the webpage, go to our Facebook, like us on there, see us on Spotify, and iTunes podcast. You can see us both on there, listen to everything we got. And then go to our webpage at alltheragesports.weebly.com and donate to our PayPal.
You could be like Brian Baden.
You could be like Brian Baden and be a donator.
Be a legend.
And trust me, everybody wants to be like Brian Baden.
Be a legend. And since Jesse didn't do it at all today.
Thank you and good night.
Fuck you, Andy.